What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. About to get into another one. Y'all. See what's going on. Y'all see what's happening where a gentleman is being is being criticized by the sisterhood of social media, criticizing the man for taking a stand about what he is okay and not okay with with the mother of his child doing and what the mother of his child is wearing while she's doing that thing. He's drawing a line. However, if you look at the social media keyboard warrior culture of it all, they're having a big issue with that. How dare he require certain things? How dare he require certain things from a woman that's, makes her own money and does her own movies and does her own thing? How dare he? That's what we're coming to. Because what's happening with that is society in their own way is trying to subtly, and by society I mean women, because women, they got the loudest voices and the loudest megaphones, and what they are in their own way trying to teach men, train men to essentially be cucks. Speaking of cucks, we're going to listen to some serious cuckery too, because Adam 22 actually, him and his wife sat down and did a rendition of the Red Table Talk where they interviewed each other after her scene, and they actually had the other guy stream in for about 5 minutes to talk to him. It was that bad. But let's strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up and what's going on, everybody? What's up and what's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the building. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Little Rock came through with the first one. He says, yo. Salty Balls came through, said, testing. Here's the trick, though. The first one you sent, where it said testing, it's in the analytics. However, I do not see it. I don't know how long ago you sent that one, but I don't see it. So it's like the first one of the day they don't show. It's weird. They're doing a weird thing. I don't know, but I do see that one. I see two. You sent two $2 super chats, both in the analytics, but only one of them is appearing on screen. Unless you sent that other one really, really early, right when I set up the stream. I don't know. But anyway, it looks like it's all working. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate your support Salty Balls. And speaking of that, before we even get all the way into it, I always forget to do it right at the beginning of the show. But special shout out to Machismo TV.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Salty Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
We have done so much with so little for so long. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing. I finally got that tagline. Remember, straight through without studying, without studying. Without stutter. I stuttered on the word stutter. Figure that one out. But shout out to Machismo TV, the best male-centric clips highlight reel channel in the business. Shout out to Salty Balls, who's one of the men behind that project over there. Him and Machismo TV. He's holding my nuts. Salty Ball's cousin, no, just playing, says what happened to 9:30. Yeah, about that. Shit happens. Emmett Perry, I'm one of these days, I promise, I'm going to set a start time and I'm going to start at that time every day. Today is not that day. So that day will come. But Emmett Perry said, Cuck 22, hut. No, just playing. That's what that sounded like when he said Cuck 22. This is Cuck 22 instead of Adam 22. Winthrop in the building says salutations. He says Cuck table talk. That's what it felt like. Little Rock back in the building. Deacon Dave in the building. LB Crypto in the building. Dolomite in the building. Says men don't fall for the modern women insecure jab and walk into a cuck uppercut. Cuck uppercut. Oh, you cuck. Okay. Having you looking like having suck a duck on social media. Thank you for the comment. Do appreciate it. Nolan Baptiste in the building. That cuck uppercut is too funny. That one was freestyled. Oh, you cuck. All right. All right. Shout out to Salty Balls again. Back in here with another one, putting 5 on it. Do appreciate that. It's the holding my nuts is a distant relative. Sidebar. I don't know what the F is for, but what the YT is for. Check your Cash App. Hearing YouTube trying to silence thine deacon. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Will do. Oh shit, almost knocked something over. Will do, man. Appreciate all your support, Salty Balls. And y'all make sure y'all get over there and be checking out Machismo TV. Make sure y'all get over there, be checking out Machismo TV and subscribe. Actually, Salty Balls, because I don't got nobody on the ones and twos today. So drop the link to Machismo TV in the chat room, or any moderator available. Drop the link to Machismo TV in the chat room as we get this thing going. Please do that periodically. All right. We'll check that Cash App. About to get into this thing. Got a number of things to get into. All right. I don't know if you were saying you sent me a Cash App. That's the link to Machismo TV. I don't know if you were saying you sent me a Cash App, because I don't got one. When you send me a Cash App, make sure you include that 99. There is another Bernard Riley out there who will not send the money back. Trust me, I know. All right, 89 people in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. UFO Kamazi says, BR, have you ever done radio broadcasting? Sounds like you have. Some people say that to me, but actually I have never done radio broadcasting. To me, my voice sounds weird, but a lot of people tell me I have a voice for radio, but to me, I sound weird whenever I talk, but I'll take the compliments. But all right, let's get on into it. Where we at? Where we at? I had something that I was trying to put up on the screen. I meant to have that a little bigger. Before we get into the main topic, we got to slow crawl into a few things here because we talked about at the end of the show yesterday. Hunter Biden, I don't even know if to say smuggling crack into the White House. The White House maid would have to smuggle some cocaine into the White House. When you the president's son, y'all ain't smuggle it. Y'all just walked it on in. That wasn't even a smuggle job. But Donald Trump, good old Donald Trump. Okay. Shout out to this is from Salty Balls. He did drop a $50 cash app on it. Shout out to Salty Balls. Just hit me with a $50 cash app, man. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate that. When RN get here, all the stuff will be posted on the screen and everything. Right now, I can't do the show and do that. I don't got nobody in the back on the ones and twos right now. But do appreciate the cash app. All the cash apps, everything will be acknowledged on the stream. Do appreciate on the screen. Do appreciate everybody. But let me get into this. Let me get into Donald Trump, who's just undefeated on when it comes to his tweets. I used to always say, as the sitting president, get your ass off Twitter. All right? We don't need the sitting president waking up at 3 a.m. tweeting his conspiracy theories. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we did. It's alternate schools of thought on that. But maybe the president should stay off Twitter at 3 a.m. Just a thought. But now that he ain't the president, I really sit back and enjoy some Donald Trump tweets. Says, does anybody really believe that cocaine found in the West Wing of the White House, very close to the Oval Office, is for the use of anyone other than Hunter and Joe Biden? Now, no, Joe Biden is many things, but I don't believe Joe Biden is still doing lines. He's from the 60s and 70s, he was around back then. So I'm sure he's done some, but I think those days are behind him. All right. But Hunter, oh yeah, that was Hunter's bag of cocaine. You know, if fans buts about that. But watch, the fake news media will soon start saying that the amount found was very small and it really wasn't cocaine, or it wasn't really cocaine, but rather common ground of aspirin, and a story will vanish. And the story will vanish. Has deranged Jack Smith, the crazy Trump-hating special prosecutor, been seen in the area of the cocaine? He looks like a crackhead to me. The idea, the notion that a president is just, he's not currently the president, okay? He's not a sitting president. But what president, former, current, past, present, future, got a tweet out there where he's saying he looked like a crackhead to me? It's just you can't beat that with Donald Trump, man. It's like he just be clowning. Trump be out there clowning. But shout out to Donald Trump on that one, man. That is just wild. That is just wild. Had to have some fun with that. A couple things before we get all the way into it. Gilbert Arenas, who normally he be having wild, wacky takes on basketball. I do agree with some of the wild and wacky stuff he be saying, because he do be calling out the old heads, but he'll overreach sometimes. But we do got to get into, before we get all the way into the main topics of Keke Palmer and Adam 20. Keke Palmer basically humiliating her husband, in my estimation. Not her husband, they're not married yet, but we're gonna get into that. But Keke Palmer humiliating him, and then Adam 22's wife humiliating him, and the culture that just tries to breed and preach and neuter men to be okay with all manner of behavior from not just women in general, because women in general can do whatever they want to do. But if a woman is claimed as your woman, she represents you. Her ass and her pussy can't be all out in the streets. It just is what it is. That's not a controversial statement. We're going to get all the way into that, but before we dive into that, we got to get with No Chill Gil. We got to check out No Chill Gilbert Arenas and what he had to say. This was interesting.
Fact.
Boom. Exactly. That's the stranglehold that they got society in. It be all kinds of stuff that somebody they set a bunch of invisible landmines out there. Once you step on them, now it's the problem. But never there was never a discussion about where the landmines were at. Like with black people, we know exactly what you can't call, what you can't call black people. Everybody knows it. All right. If you don't know, you pretending not to know. It's clear and put out there. They changed it. They changed. They wrote a playbook, made a rule book, and then never really explained what was going on until somebody said something wrong, and now this person got to get canceled. And down to the intricate details of pronouns and all kind of odd stuff that people still don't know, all the way down to the intricate oddities. You get any of that wrong, they try to put a label on you, try to get you canceled. So it's mean they got a rule book, they got a playbook, don't nobody know it. Don't nobody know it until you mess up. He's absolutely right.
That's unfair, right? That's fucking unfair. You can't do that. You can't.
Hold on, my bad. Hold on. If you truly want to, you can go to some weird places on the internet and see all the different rules and regulations, but it's so much stuff that you just be more confused leaving than what you were coming in. You'd be more confused learning all that stuff than what you were before you even knew any of that stuff existed. That's the nature of it. That's the nature of it. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. Now, truth be told, and this is the part that we don't like to hear, when it comes to what he just described right there, black people also have that type of rhetorical stranglehold on some aspects of the conversations. You know, I can say what I want to say. I could be in a debate online with a white person. I can say what I want to say. I could call him anything. He could get called. I can call, if he say the most subtlest little thing, I could call him racist. He can get branded with that. So it's like we have, I think they call that, I think they call it soft power. It's not actual power, but it's soft power when you do control and manipulate what other people say. When we got people talking like children, you saying the N-word, it is something in that. It is something in that. But that's what they got mixed with probably some hard actual power, or maybe they just got the power don't really come from them. They got people doing their bidding, so to speak. It's people who are not gay, but they want to yield to it. So somebody say something that's subtly wrong, and now this person is canceled. This person loses sponsorship. This person get dropped, and the company that was had a sponsorship deal with this person, got to kind of get perp walked through social media streets as well. It's like all of that goes on when somebody slips up and says something bad about either black people or gay people. So in that sense, that's one thing that in this space, the men kind of push back on, like, we don't want to be roped in with all the disenfranchised groups that everybody pat on the head like the retarded kid in the class that don't say nothing about little Timmy. It's like, I don't like being in that group. I don't like being in that. But shout out to Gilbert Arenas calling this out. I've listened to a little bit more of this, and we're going to get into more of I haven't seen it past this point, but the point that Vlad was making, even though I think he's coming from the standpoint of trying to put a cape on for the LGBTQ RSTUV community, I understand the general point that he's making, in that everything that Gilbert Arenas was explaining, I think black people also in our own way have somewhat of a stranglehold on certain aspects of the conversation, certain aspects of dialogue and the lexicon of how we just communicate everything. We do have a stranglehold on that. And sometimes I'm divided on whether how much black people should or shouldn't embrace that. You know, take whatever win you can. But no, but yeah, no, I did want to touch on that because I think that was I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was a pretty interesting dialogue. I like when I see black men that seem to get it. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into something that would be an otherwise benign situation. Something that would be an otherwise benign situation where a woman, another celebrity, was just at a concert and she wore something kind of scantily clad and just having a good time. It wouldn't be a problem at all, except for the father of her children had an issue with it. Let's go. I don't know if I'll get copyright struck for playing the concert version of a song, of music playing. I'm just stalling right now. Stalling, so it's also to try to get in front of the strike. And she turned around, spun around, dance form, the whole works. You know, single woman, no big deal. Single woman, no big deal. Have a blast. Now she completely like fangirl, like your woman on camera at a concert fanning herself because of in the presence of a man that she got the hots for, while she got her cheeks out for him, spun around for him. That's what's going on. Now, it only becomes a conversation piece when you average into the equation that her child's father said something about it, and then everybody came at him. That became the cancelable offense. How dare you say something about what she's doing? And I didn't even notice that the first time. It was damn near a kiss in the mouth. All right. So that's what happened right there. All right. Now, let's look at some of the reaction to it. Let's look at some of the reaction to it. Let's remove that. Let's blow this up. Let's make this bigger. Let's make this bigger. This is on the Instagram, somebody's Instagram page. All right. I don't know why they're zooming in on Usher's face like that, then zoomed in on the cheeks. Okay. All right. Keke Palmer's boyfriend, Darius Jackson publicly shames her for outfit she wore to Usher's concert. He says, it's the outfit, though. You a mom. Now, let's talk about that. That one of the biggest criticisms is that people said that he shouldn't have said anything online. He should have just talked to her, but she shamed him publicly. He can address it publicly. That's one thought pattern that I'm sort of on the wavelength of, because I don't think that if he says nothing publicly, if nothing is said publicly, but he just tried to talk to her about it behind the scenes, still the public perception is that he's okay with her having her ass out and all fawning all over another man like that. The public perception is that that's the case. Now, the way that you're really supposed to do it, like when he went in with this statement right here, I'm gonna tell you what he should have did, how he should have handled this. But he goes on to say, we live in a generation, because after he made that first statement, everybody came at him. Sisterhood came at him. They criticized him. All right, I'm gonna read some of the comments in a little bit. The sisterhood came at him, gave him big criticism. Big criticism. I'm gonna read some of the comments in a little bit. Says, we live in a generation where a man of a family doesn't want his wife and mother to his children to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. All right. Fair statement. Fair statement. Here's the deal. And a lot of people have said this. I even heard some men say that he shouldn't have said nothing. He shouldn't have said nothing publicly. What he should have done, if he really got, is trying to rein that situation in, is that he should have had her release a statement, because she did that shit publicly. I would have legit, if I'm gonna, if you care about, this your family, you ain't leaving over this, but you do want to make it clear that you not all right with this. You do want to make it clear that you not all right with this. She should have had to release a statement. I would have had her release a public apology. I would have had her apologize to me publicly. I would have had her fucking just release a statement about how she's not happy with her actions and behaviors, and that was inappropriate, and blah 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 blah, and yada yada, and all of that. That's what I would have did if I seriously had a problem with what she did, and we still gonna be together, but she just represented me poorly as hell. That's what would have went down. So Rashid says, Bernard Riley, I hear he may have deleted his social media after this. I can see that. Sisterhood came at him. Jay Spence says, when Chris Rock allegedly disrespected Jada, all the black women were completely okay with Will publicly addressing the matter on stage. Ooh, good point. Good point. Because all of the women are saying he should have addressed it privately. But they was like, no, Will Smith got up there and addressed that shit right then and there on site. They was okay with it. Good point. Shout out to Sir Tice before we get too far upfield. He's on the previous subject, but I do want to make sure I get to the super chat before we get too far uphill. Field, he says, do they have society? He says, do they? Why is the flag there? Do they have society in a stranglehold? Talking about the gay people. Do they have society in a stranglehold or the fake news media? When you ask it, that tells you who controls the thoughts, ideas, and perceptions of people. The Matrix. No, absolutely do see what you're saying. There. That they don't necessarily got society in a stranglehold. They just have the public discourse in a stranglehold. So fair points. Appreciate the support right there. I do appreciate the super chats. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. All right. Staying in here. I can say 100% that if he had a problem with it, he should have had her make a statement. I would have had her make a statement. Whoever that was that said, oh yeah, Jay Spence right there. That's comment of the day so far. That because they're going to be saying, I'm gonna leave that right there while we read these comments. We're gonna get into these comments. Y'all may not be able to see the comments, so y'all just gonna have to kind of take my word. I don't know if y'all can see these comments, but it was a brother. This is a man. First comment says, should have handled it when she got home. Handle it when she got home, but yet she publicly, in his perception, in his view, publicly humiliated him, but he's supposed to keep quiet and, rest in his femininity about it and handle it when they get home. And then the public perception is that he was okay with it. So he's publicly looking, a little cuckish. We play fast and loose with the word cuck. Don't try to beat me up on the actual definition, But he's looking weak if his one mother of his children is out there with her ass cheeks out at an Usher concert, just fawning all over him like that. Like he looked bad. You want him to handle it behind the scenes. No, something can be done publicly to rectify it. But the thing is, she should be doing it. She should be doing it. He should be having her do it if they're gonna stay together. Someone else says, I get why he felt some type of way, but addressing her in front of millions, she disrespected him in front of millions, though. But let me just read it all the way through. I get why I felt some type of way, but addressing her in front of millions of people on social media was not the right way to go. But she disrespected him in front of millions. So something in front of millions need to be done to rectify it. But I'm going to keep standing on that point that she should be the one releasing statements if he truly has control of the situation. Now, I'm doing a little Googling. Of Darius Dalton. Doing a little Googling real quick. And these Google net worths can be inaccurate. So we taking this with a grain of salt. But I don't even think he has a net worth that's Googleable. Like I'm trying to figure something out because this is going to be kind of important because there's a money factor. Because some people were saying, she's David, you Otis, play your role. Anybody come to see you, Otis? They telling him you got to fall back and shut up. That's what they're trying to tell this man. That's what they are trying to tell this man. But I don't think he has a Googleable net worth like that. Help me out, audience. Help me out if y'all can find out what this dude got going on. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Apologies. Something I meant to do before the show. All right. So what is Darius? Hold on. Let me make sure I got the right Darius. Nope, that's not it. Okay. All right. My bad. I'm trying to Darius Dalton. So many damn Dariuses popping up. Why did they say Keke Palmer's boyfriend, Darius Jackson? All right. Apologies. Let me see if y'all got it figured out. Okay, so it looked like he got regular ass money. I looked up something that said 500K, but when it's that hard to find, it's probably regular ass money. All right. Pablo said I won't find it. Okay. All right. I did want to double check that part. Okay. Let's get back into it now. All right. Her outfit was giving put a ring on me or shut up. That's what this chick is saying. Her outfit was saying put a ring on me or shut up. That's what a lot of them try to do. They try to say that I have no reason to act in a wifely way at all to demonstrate to you whatsoever what type of wife that I would be. I have no reason to do that. No reason to demonstrate to you what type of wife I can be. I can be out in the streets. I can have my ass cheeks out in the streets. Just wife me up and cross your fingers, nigga. It's like that's the view they have. I remember I actually spoke to a woman, and she literally said, She's single until she's married. I was like, but you're in a relationship, right? No, she said, I'm not married, so I'm single. I'm single until I'm married, which means that even though she was with somebody who she did want to marry, who she wanted to marry her, she even alluded to the idea, the notion that they was like kind of lightweight engaged. But she was like, no, I'm still dating. She alleged she wasn't having sex with any of these men. However, she was she was still dating. She was still fielding offers. I'm single until I'm married. Even if they live together, even if they got kids, I'm not married yet. This next comment was from a woman who did criticize the sisterhood in a long post, but we just reading the nonsense. I'm not, she, cool. I'll just say kudos to her. The name Shalid Vini or something like that. Kudos to her. This next comment says Kiki always been fine, but the baby did something special to her body. It's all they looking at right there. How her body looked, they objectify. They in these type of situations, when it's a woman using her body, her sexuality, or something like that to bring like this type of attention, it's like they will turn around and objectify the woman worse than men. Like that's the only thing they see here. They don't see anything wrong, any implications with that being in a relationship and having a kid and being a mother and all of that. Her and this guy is essentially married, not married yet, but essentially married. They don't see nothing wrong with that. They said they just like some men saying, yeah, but look at that ass though. They sound no different than my comment section. Really? Yeah, but she kind of thick though. That's how women address this shit. Women are in a excuse me. Women are in a place where they look at this kind of stuff no different than men. Yeah, but she got that body though. Shit. Says, looks like, okay, here's the interesting right here. Says, looks like you're requesting wifey perks, but are only subscribed as baby daddy. Please upgrade your subscription to enjoy higher quality features. See, that's the argument that they make, that a lot of them make, where they will hold, they're basically saying, I'm going to be still out in these streets. You need to put you need to come grab me from these streets, instantly put a ring on it when I'm still out in the streets. I'm not about to leave the streets and present myself to you as a normal, decent woman. No, 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 no. Put a ring on me and just trust me. Put a ring on it and just trust me. Now let's just say hypothetically that he wasn't, like as Pablo said, a personal trainer that made 40K. Let's just say that he made good money. All right. Let's just say that he made good money and she was still doing what she would be doing. This chick's argument would be pretty much the same. The whole, looks like you're requesting wifey perks, but are only subscribed as baby daddy. Please upgrade your subscription to enjoy higher quality features. Let's just say that they were together. They weren't married, but he made good money and he was paying the bills and he was taking care of her and he was doing everything that a husband is supposed to do. She would look at that and rightfully draw the conclusion that this is a good man. This is a man I want to be married to. This is a man doing everything that a man is supposed to do, demonstrating to me who he is and the type of husband he will be. And I know he will be that type of husband because he's demonstrating that to me. But me, on the other hand, until that day comes, this is how they training y'all to be cucks. This is how they trying to train you to be cucks. Until that day comes where you actually become my husband, I don't have to stop doing none of this stuff. But for me to think that you're worthy of a husband, you have to do all that husband stuff. But all the wife stuff, well, you got to upgrade to a higher subscription in order to get the wife stuff. But all that husband shit, yes, I need that right now. That's this type of stuff they do. When they do it, when they put that stuff out there, what they are essentially doing is trying to train you to be on essentially what amounts to cuck mode, where they're going to do whatever they're going to do until you marry them. And then after you marry them, now they have even more leverage to do what they want to do. I'm going to stop hoeing once I get a ring. That's what they're expecting you to believe. Xander with the Z comes through with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Do appreciate you putting 5 on it. Says someone is always telling black men to possess this unnatural level of self-control when our women can do and say whatever they want with no backlash. That is what's going on here. That is the name of the game here. That is the game. That's literally the game. They're trying to coax men into a position, into a thought process, into an ideology where all manner of behavior by women is unacceptable. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about policing the general society of women. You know, there's something to be said about doing that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the event that you and a woman have an agreed upon situation and or arrangement, it still have no expectations, but still claim her, still do things that men are supposed to do in traditionally in situations and relationships and or marriages with women, still operate like that, but still accept the modern day freedom of I can do what I want, when I want, how I want, whenever I want, and the whole works. It's asking them to accept that. That's what it's doing. That's literally what it's doing. All right, let's get into it a little more. Let's read some more of these comments. After tonight, don't leave your girl around me, true player for real. That's actually funny. Yeah, I need some water. Says it's the fact that he said she's a mom, as if being a mom precluded her from dressing a certain way. Yeah, if you're the mother of my child, you're not going around with your ass out, especially without me. My personal rules is if my woman is with me, she can wear something a little sexier. If she's not with me, god damn it, she got to go around in a beekeeper suit. That's my general rule. Ah, he says, but now we see that you're trying not to click on. Have you know, Mr. Jaquan, light skinned Keith Sweat, I get plenty of messages on Instagram because people send me content on Instagram. Have you know? So don't be charging me up with nothing. Don't be trying to out me over here. That's funny. That's funny. Look. A part of me want to click on. Okay, a part of me do want to click on that just to show you, but I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do. I wouldn't do that. But y'all will be able to see that all the messages I get is on Instagram is people sending me content. That's all I get. Like this Instagram ain't even a personal Instagram. It's literally a show Instagram. It's this Instagram that I created in connection to the show that I need to post content on eventually. I mean, I do post content on there. I need to post content on there consistently. But that's some funny stuff. You almost got me there. I mean, well, no, you got me, but you don't got me. Good observation. But what you're suggesting isn't exactly true. What you're implying isn't true. But good observation, man. Good observation. All right. What else we got in here? So it's the fact that he said she's a mom, as if being a mom precluded. I don't even know if that's the right word. Precluded her. You say excludes her from dressing a certain way. It does. As a mom after childbirth, it takes a good bit to feel sexy again. So she feels good. So be it. Pop off, my girl. That's what I mean. Where it's like the collective of women and the men who follow what they say are trying to slow walk men into accepting being cucks. That's what they're doing. So many men are going for it. You can't control that woman. You can't control what women do. It's true you can't control what women do. But if you under my roof and you rocking with me and we got a label on this stuff, or even if you ain't under my roof, we got a label on it. There's certain things that you can't do. I mean, well, you can do it, but we don't have a label. We not a thing. You just a chick. That's when she turned into just a chick that you hook up with here and there. That's when she go from a title and a label to just a chick you hook up with here and there. And some men have rightfully drawn the conclusion that, you know what, we just gonna keep it right there. I'm just gonna hook up with chicks. And we're not gonna put labels on nothing. Because they want to do whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, when they want to do it, with who they want to do it with. And they got a whole army of women online saying that this stuff is okay. If you had standards, you would have made her a wife. This is a man. At least that avatar looked like a man. Oh no, that's a woman that looks like a man. Nope, that is just a woman that looks like a man. Okay. If you have standards, you would have made her your wife first. Then you can regulate on top. Okay, so how, in which way, shape, or form, how is he supposed to know if she's even a regulatable chick? Unless she's regulatable right now while they live together with children. Not saying that you have to live with a chick and have kids with her to figure out if she's regulatable, but if she's not regulatable, she's not somebody who can be regulated, then by all means, to think that ring is going to make her go through a metamorphosis and turn into something that she's not. She's a chick who has her pussy out in the streets. Then all of a sudden, you put a ring on her, then
morphin' time.
Is she going to turn into something that she wasn't before? That ain't how it worked. But that's how they would want you to think it worked, because they want you to wife up hoes. That is their strategy. That is their mating strategy. That is their long-term partnering strategy. They want you to be equally fine wifing up hoes. That's what all of this is about. And this is a damn stud saying this. She's trying to put her bed in low key. Use a real man, you wife. We're in a place now where a stud could be like, well, if you was a real man. Studs be on social media telling dudes what a real man would do. Then you can regulate on top of the fact, when you have standards, no good man would ever publicly shame his woman. Bullshit. In publicly shamed. The only comment that would be considered publicly shamed is the outfit, though. You a mom. All right, you can call that publicly shamed. But she publicly humiliated him by doing that shit that she did. Now, I said earlier that even if you want to make the argument that he shouldn't have took it public, something need to happen publicly, because she did the shit publicly. But I think it should be her releasing a statement, damn near a public apology, if he really got control of the situation. His opinion is his opinion. The issue is where he expressed it. That should have been a private conversation. But the same people that say that, the same sisterhood that says that, was praising Will Smith when Will Smith, got up and slapped Chris Rock. Nobody said that if they had an issue with something that happened or anything that went on there, it should have been handled privately. Will Smith should have talked about it privately with Chris Rock. Jada should have expressed how she felt privately to Will Smith, and then Will Smith should have talked privately to Chris Rock, and it all should have been handled, taken care of behind the scenes. And they like, no. Publicly handle that shit. That was the deal. That's what they was on when all of that went down. That's what they was on when all of that went down. little double standarding. Some slight double standarding going on there. Stop saying he should have handled it privately. This is what a brother is saying, with a brother with a check mark named Stack G. Stack_G. I don't know who these people are. He said, stop saying he should have handled it privately when the disrespect / humiliation from her was public. Boom, boom. That is facts right there. That is facts right there. Says that Zoom is wild. I think he should have handled it when he got home. See, they want him to rest in his femininity and tiptoe and say it to her, gently when they get home. That thing almost made Usher sing the first note to Superstar. All right. But that's pretty much it right there. We about to get into the other topic. The other topic, what we about to get into. 207 people in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. We about to get into it. Where we at?
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, shout out to Machismo TV. Make sure you go and subscribe to Machismo TV. We've done so much with so little for so long. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing. Definitely. But all right. Let's see. Let's get into it. Let's get all the way into this wholesale cuckoldry going on right now. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. Hopefully I don't get hit again. I've been getting struck, and I shouldn't even listen to it directly on YouTube like this. I did download it. Yeah, I probably should pull up the downloaded thing, but it's been working funny. It's been acting kind of funny. So we're going to try it from right here. Fair use. But for those that don't know, Adam 22, I mean, I did content on it. It's been all over the place. His wife, he had the No Jumper podcast. Just a little quick backstory. He had the No Jumper podcast. All right. Y'all know how that worked. You know how that go. The No Jumper podcast, popular podcast. He got with the girl. Boy meets girl. Simple, a typical boy meets girl story. This girl happened to be, kind of in the porn industry. I think did some lesbian scenes or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. They started dating. They became a thing. And so in an attempt to help her career, he basically took his Adam 22 brand, where he has a good talk show and he interviews people, and they merged that with porn, where him and his wife together interviewed porn stars, and then they would go on OnlyFans and have a threesome, have sex with the women, with the female porn stars. Or she would on her OnlyFans do scenes with girls, and every now and then he would do the scenes with them, and that was that. And then they then she said, hey, let me go in. I want to have scene with it after 6 years. After 6 years, they got married. 7 years now into this thing, to being together. After 1 year into being married, she's like, now I want to have a scene with another man. And they did that. And that was announced, and it blew up. It was all over social media. he talked about it, said it gave him bubble guts and all kind of stuff like that. He felt some type of way about it. He was okay with it, but then he felt bad, and then he had buyer's remorse. Then he wanted to cop a plea on it. He didn't really want to do it, and he didn't really want her to do it, but then he was okay with her doing it, and then So anyway, all of that happened. And now what's happening here is that now they're doing the red table talk Will Smith equivalent of it all. This is Will and Jada, where now they're talking about the scene. This is what they're doing. And to add insult to injury, the guy who was, where is it? The guy who she did the scene with, they had him call in and join the conversation. So they're doing like they're doing like this is like inside the NBA. They're giving the post game analysis. They're doing a play-by-play. Like, that's what's going on here. So we're gonna play a little bit of it in the beginning and a couple timestamp parts, and then we're gonna get into the main part is when dude pull it up. But either way it go, be that as it may, let's go. Let's get it.
Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And guys, never say that I don't give you what you want. You've all been talking about it. You all want to hear it. I got the one and only Lena the Plug, my wife, on the pod.
You know what? LB Crypto, you got a point. They had to pay that man. And in my eyes, all that money is his money, because she was just a regular run-of-the-mill, average Jane porn star. She wasn't a big deal. She wasn't a big deal in the industry. She is a big deal now only because of him. Only because of him. Him merging his Adam 22 No Jumper audience with her and doing the plug talk thing where they, talk to interview porn stars. Him cross marketing those two things is what made her a star in the industry. His audience from that made all the major players in the porn industry want to come and interview with her, which made her get a name. And now they want to shoot with her and do scenes with her because due to her connection with him. So anything that she's making on her OnlyFans or from anything that they're making from Plug Talk, that's all his creation. So it's all his money. So you are correct that yes, he just paid that man to rearrange his wife's insides. There's no way around that. It is no way around that. Because the argument would be, oh no, she paid out of her money. But okay, that's even worse. If your wife paid another man to rearrange her insides, it's all bad. But it's even worse if he paid. And seen as it's all his creation, as far as I'm concerned, yes. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
To talk about recent events.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking about how I'd probably never come on the podcast again, but if I've another guy, so now I'm allowed to come on the podcast.
You thought you were never going to come on the podcast again?
I mean, it's just no one wants the Lena the Plug interview, but then I someone else, and now it's oh, she needs an interview.
Okay, you did an adult scene with someone else.
I mean, but it's
no, Negro. I'm sitting there calling him, no, Negro. She said it right. She fucked somebody else. Don't try to dress it up and put a bow tie on it. She did no. You didn't fuck someone else, honey. You did an adult scene. You're a film actor, okay? You did an adult scene. You're an actress. You're an adult actress, okay? You were acting. It was work. No. Don't try to sugarcoat. Don't downplay it.
Under the Plug interview, but then I someone else, and now it's oh, she needs an interview.
Okay, you did an adult scene with someone else.
I mean, but it's like, it's when I think about it, I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, when you were in your like mom TikTok era, probably that wasn't going to be the thing that made me like, okay, let's get her on. I had you on here what, a year and a half ago with Flacco?
Yeah, I can't remember why we did that.
Just give you a little press.
Yeah.
Get some stuff out there.
I'd feel more comfortable if he was here. I feel really like uncomfortable with the fact that it's just you and I, and we're going to talk about this in front of my brother-in-law, Josh.
He's not paying attention. He's not even in here.
Oh, he left.
No,
Thank God. I was
done.
like, oh, Josh is in here.
Don't put Josh on blast.
I just feel comfortable.
No, but this might actually be the first time that you and I have been on this podcast together, just you and I, right?
Yeah, it is the first time.
That's great.
Also, we got married.
We did get married.
That didn't constitute me coming on here, but this event did.
It seems like an afterthought after the last week.
Yeah.
Not like actually, but in terms of content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even really talk about the marriage that much on here because it just seemed like it was so nice. It was great. The honeymoon was great.
Do you feel different? Because everyone's like, do you feel different now? I'm like, absolutely not. It's the exact.
It's funny that he was speaking about some general stuff, and then she was like, "No, let's stay on subject. Let's get back to it. Don't talk about our marriage. Don't talk about all the other little pleasantries. No. We getting away from our moment." She cut him off like, "Let's get back into it now. Come on now, stay focused."
It was great. The
Do you
honeymoon
feel
was great.
different? Because everyone's like, do you feel different now? I'm like, absolutely not. It's it's the exact same.
We made it official. We had a nice party with the friends and family and everything.
Went on the honeymoon.
But it's like, it's not like the rules changed. It's not like, oh, like we're going to do things differently now.
No, we already had the house, the kid, you know.
Yeah, we did most of the serious stuff in advance.
The marriage was like, all right, I guess we should just do this too. Let's finish up. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess. So, okay, this is the first thing that I thought might be useful for us to lay out is let's lay out the chronological order of how the idea of you even working with other people became a thing. Because I have a memory of maybe 6 months ago where you said something like, do you really think that we're going to go our whole lives without ever sleeping with other people? And in the context of like, I think we were talking about swinging at first.
Yeah, I mean, because people don't really know this about you and I, but you just mentioned it on the podcast, so now I can talk about it. That we had a threesome early in our relationship with another guy, and that was just like we went out, we partied, we had like a really fun, hot sexual experience, and we were always kind of down for like a little bit of freaky things. You know?
Was like,
all right, now I'm pausing it. I want to let them get into it, but I got to pause it because it helps from getting the copyright strike if you don't play it too long, too uninterrupted. But they're talking about a situation, a little backstory on it. They're talking about a situation when they first met, they got together, they weren't an item yet, and they had a threesome with another guy. This is when, they first got to, they weren't even together. That's the context in it. They're going to explain that.
Like 2 or 3 other people in the room
just watching us,
who like were not there to see us, but they just happened to be in the room because we were all just hanging out. This was back in the Adam and Lena party era that didn't really last that long. And at that time, to be totally honest, you were pretty much a random girl to me.
Yeah.
We didn't have any kind of like emotional connection. Oh my God.
That's where
we didn't have any kind of like emotional connection. Oh my God.
That's where we were in our lives. We went to emo night. Okay.
Shout out emo night. And
all right. So he smashed a random chick. And the guy that they did it with was one of his friends. I mean, one of his friends smashed a random girl.
I've always been somebody who, throughout my life, there's been a bunch of different times where me and my homie might a girl together. Always enjoyed it with you that night. But then once we started to actually get closer and closer to like dating, it became like, no, we're not talking about that anymore.
We literally never talked about it again.
Okay. How does that work? Like, it's a running joke that my brother always says, like, if it's like a bad chick, it's a running joke. He wouldn't do it, but he'd be like, damn, I go with her after a group. Like, basically saying, I go with her. I'll be her, I let her be my girlfriend after a group session. Basically, and back in his day, I'm 40. I just turned 41. My brother 42, a year older than me. But back in his day, around 22, him and his friends, they ran some trains on some chicks, and they used to do that. So I think that's probably where the running joke came from, is that that, man, I liked her so much. She's so bad. I go with her. She could be my girl after we done ran a train on her. It's like it's a running joke. You know, you're not going to do it, but it's always just it's a running joke. It's something that he said before, and it turned into a whole thing. And it's just it blows me away that that's more or less what happened right there. Like, how does that work? How does a random chick that you and your friend basically gangbanged, how does she then become your girlfriend when it started like that? Like, just think about that. Just imagine that. It's like, so you bring a chick come through, you and the guys get together, y'all run a train on her, you know, y'all do that, and you know, after it's all over, you know, she go to sleep there. You don't make her leave, you know, you're a gentleman, you know, you got let her stay there and sleep it off, you know, self-respecting gentleman would put her out after all of that, you know, you let her stay there and she sleep it off. Your friends that's left, you woke up the next morning, and then she woke up and what? Made some really nice pancakes for breakfast. And like, I mean, were the pancakes that good to where you just like, oh man, I got to keep this one around. It's like, these some excellent pancakes. I mean, I want to know what other good qualities she has. I mean, yes. We just gangbanged her, but she just made the best breakfast ever. I got to keep her around now. And then she just stay there. And then later that night, you know, it was about 8 p.m. One of your homeboys come back over and is like, oh shit, she back, hey, party over, you know, and he like, you know, and then oh, hold on, man. I know we just gangbanged her last night. This is my girl now. This is my woman. That's disrespectful, just coming in here like that. And then your homeboy like, wait a minute, we just ran a train on her, right? So you then what? You like, yeah, I understand, but have you had her pancakes though? You know, it's more to this one, all right? It's more to this one. You haven't had these pancakes, all right? there are other qualities here aside from aside from her getting gangbanged by me, you, and all the boys. Now she makes excellent pancakes, and we had a good discussion about, you know, world politics, and no, I think she's a keeper. I think I'm going to keep her around. It's like, how does any of that work? How does that work? Like that's just blowing me away that you start off like that. I could see if it started out on just a I can see if it started out on, you know, let's just say that, you know, it started out some wild, crazy sex. You had a threesome with another girl, and you know, she stuck around, and she was like your main chick, and then, you know, and then it just evolved, and okay, all right. But if she started out getting ran through by the homies, getting ran through by you and the homies, it can't evolve into a relationship. It just can't. That's just not how it worked. The pancakes wasn't that good. It wasn't. Even the dog had those pancakes. It was like, no, the pancakes couldn't have been that good. No. Matt Will Sports says, is this the same white woman that conquered the world? No, this is just the white woman. She only conquered Adam 22. She only conquered Adam 22. All right, let's get into it.
We talked about it on the podcast.
We maybe didn't talk about it for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
I mean, also my friend went on to date the guy for a really long time, so that's probably also why we didn't talk about it.
That is a good point. Yeah.
But like, okay, when I think about that version of us and the version of us that isn't always going to do, who's just very into sex and likes to try fun and new experiences, I was just like, are we really never going to have an experience like that, even off camera, ever again?
And what spurred that conversation, I think, was the fact that we had multiple different couples on Plug Talk where either they were into the swinging thing or they just did with other people.
All right, we're going to skip ahead. We're going to skip ahead. So I want to get to this part, then I want to get to when the dude came into the conversation. All right, let's go.
Video as well. That's what's kind of weird too, is realizing like the whole world seems to have decided that being a cuck is a bad thing, or like that your girl getting fucked by someone else is a bad thing. I don't know. I'm not like, I was not horrified by it. I'm not like upset by it. I'm not going to say that this is going to be something that I'm going to be fucking pounding my dick to, but
I hope you watch the scene and I hope you jerk
yeah.
off.
See, you said that.
Oh shit. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna back up some.
Horrified by it. I'm not like upset by it. I'm not going to say that this is going to be something that I'm going to be fucking pounding my dick to, but
I hope you watch the scene and I hope you jerk
yeah.
off.
See, you said that last night, is that you are really turned on by the idea of me seeing it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I didn't know that was going to be one of the effects of this.
I don't know, because
She's turned on by knowing that he's enjoying it. That is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I didn't know that was going to be one of the effects of this.
I don't know, because I know that you think it's hot. We've had more sex since I fucked Jason than we usually have in like a month.
I got an abrasion on my dick from fucking you too much.
Every time we talk about it, you get a boner and then we have sex.
I know. And
I feel like you're trying to assert your dominance over the fact that I had sex with somebody else, but it's still like part of it turns you on. Like, oh, she fucked someone else. This is hot.
There's something about it where when you know your girl is not fucking anybody else, which at this point and after 7 years.
All right, now right there, that part right there is the end all be all of the whether or not he's a cuck. Okay, that's textbook. That's textbook. The only subtle difference in cuckoldry, like especially like the pornographic cuck, is that he enjoys the being humiliated. You know, he enjoys the humiliation, which to some degree he got to kind of enjoying that too. Like what just was explained is the psychology of it, getting off and getting turned on by somebody else being with your woman. That's it. It's not even a situation where it's like, hey, we in an open relationship. It is what it is, and you know, I smash other chicks. We do it on camera together. It's her job. She's doing it on camera with another guy. He's going to make us a lot of money. We wild out like that. We don't really care. I'm, you know, completely numb to it or whatever. You know, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's he's getting off from it. If you're getting off from it, that has by definition defined you, not pegged you, wrong portraits of words, that has marked you as a cuck. It's no other way around it. It's no other way around that one.
I feel quite confident that you're not going to run off and cheat on me. It creates like a little bit of competition in your mind, even not knowing necessarily like how much you enjoyed it or how great it was or whatever. It's still kind of like, oh, like that competition thing. That's like a real biological thing. Like, I want to beat it up.
I told Adam that he can have anal the day the scene comes out.
Yeah, well, we were already talking about.
All right, let's skip to the best part. I can go blow for blow, line for line on this one. But I want to skip to the best part. I want to skip to when they bring the guy into the conversation.
I'm just trying to get you to admit that you like it.
Oh, I feel like
It's her
I
still
have that
trying to get him
version of
to
you.
admit that he already admitted it, but she's still trying to get him to admit that he like it.
Who doesn't really care that much.
I feel like we're at a great place in
It
our
makes me
relationship.
feel like we're in a great place.
And especially coming off of the honeymoon, I felt like much more relaxed and like I was in a good place with you. And a lot of this just had to do with me just kind of realizing that, you know, the internet shitting on me for stuff that I'm genuinely into is not the end of the world. You know, like that insecurity is kind of gone now, which is nice.
Genuinely into.
Insecurity. Let's before you look at the conversation that he had with the guy. Let's examine this insecure thing. Let's just separate them from it for a little bit. When it comes to cheating, all right. When it comes to cheating, if a woman thinks, you know, if a man thinks his woman is cheating, they call it insecurity. If a man thinks his woman is cheating, they call it insecurity. If a woman thinks her man is cheating, it's intuition. You know, again, that's why the title of it is how women train you to cuck. They train you to become a cuck. That's what a lot of them are doing. They train you to not to just shut your brain off, shut your mind off, shut all your masculine territorial nature and all of that off, and just fall back. Don't be insecure. Be okay with whatever I want to do. Still treat me like a masculine traditional man, but fall back and be okay with everything. That's the game. That's the game.
I'm just trying to get you to admit that you like it.
Oh, I feel like the end of the world, you know, like that insecurity is kind of gone now, which is nice.
Genuinely into.
Well,
I'm just trying to get you to admit that you like it.
Oh, I feel like I've admitted that at this point. The tweets about me just like acknowledging like, hey, I saw it and I thought it was hot. That was like kind of hard for me to write. And I added like the exclamation points out of almost like insecurity. But it was like, you know what? Like, this is how I actually feel. I'm just going to tweet this.
It's nice to see you having fun on Twitter, even though sometimes I just don't want to look at it because it's so cringy.
My tweets are cringy?
Some of them, yeah.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Oh, I'm getting a call. Oh, okay. I'm going to take this. Oh, hello.
Okay, I didn't know it happened that way when I first watched it, that he got a random call. I thought they saw them all, but homeboy just called in. Now, that's the dude right there. That's the dude. Let me make this right there like that. All right, there we go. Well, let me get out the way because y'all can. I'm gonna go with this. I hate this one right there. I hate that view. But I will. I want y'all to be able to see the full screen. I don't want to be blocking it. But all right, here we go. This is the dude. He called in. He called into the show.
Oh,
look who it is,
Mr. Jason Love. How you doing, man?
It was good.
We're just doing a little podcast here, and figured that we would, have a little conversation with you to see.
He called in. He probably was chilling. He went and put on his nice shirt, got it unbuttoned down to the belly button, threw on all his jewelry. He pulled up right. I'm stunting on like. He made sure he had to look right and everything just for a phone call, just for a little video chat.
Exactly how all this was for you as well.
Oh my gosh.
Cool. That's why I chimed in. Catch y'all. See what's up.
Definitely. So what's the vibe like between you guys? Anything I should know about?
I don't think there's a really vibe. I think it's like a business thing, but I feel just very uncomfortable with this right now. I feel awkward.
A little uncomfortable.
Can you tell him how nervous I was?
Bro, like so nervous. Oh my God. I feel so wrong right now. Like,
it was bad.
It's just work.
Okay.
Calm down.
But a lot of people have like a cheating.
He said, it's just work. Calm down. It's funny because he's like, I can imagine him saying that in the scene. Some of y'all probably paid money to go watch the scene. Some of y'all probably did that. Curiosity, no. Curiosity kills the cat sometimes. My curiosity don't get me up for this one. No. Not interested in seeing the scene.
Fetish. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like
I feel like you do.
No.
But a lot of people have like a cheating fetish. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like
I feel like you do.
Yeah, cheating I've done in the past was I'm a little bit turned on by the fact that I was doing something underhand, or take myself out of it. But like, if you're fucking a girl and you know she has a boyfriend and she's doing something wrong, that is kind of hot.
Is it?
A little bit.
You see, he knows.
It's kind of like the adrenaline. Like
I'd feel so guilty if I was the other woman.
Okay, so Jason, give me a genuine review. How was it?
She said, "I feel so guilty if I was the other woman." That's weird. You. All right. I need about to deal with that one because he just asked Jason, how was it? Jason is this dude. He just asked him how was it. All right.
Was the other woman.
Okay, so Jason, give me a genuine review. How was it?
You want like a number scale or just like
numbers? Sounds like it could be hurtful, but if it's a high number, sure.
Like a 4.
100%, 9 out of 10.
Really, 9 out of 10. Who's a 10?
Well, obviously her.
Oh.
Well, it was a 9 out of 10. I never grasped the entire 10 before. It's like you gotta leave room for something that could possibly top the next one.
Okay, yeah.
I'll take a 9 then.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. So a lot of people want to know, I don't know, just like if I should feel diminished as a man as a result of this. Like the cuck narrative is very, very strong. I just want to get your thoughts.
It's like sometimes there are some things that defy commentary where I just had to just like I forgot I was doing the show and was just watching this shit. I was like, oh, I got an audience here. It's like, how do you even process the whole idea of asking another man, so how was it? Oh, the cringe. The cringe. Some of y'all are saying they trolling us at this point. This is 100% business. Yes, it's business now. I mean, it's business, and it's more than just business. Okay, if put it like this, if he was just a dude, just out and out card carrying, if he just owns that, I'm a card carrying cuck. I get turned on by my wife getting plowed by other men. I like to watch it. I get turned on by it. And like once they go there, then at that point it becomes just business. But the initial out the starting blocks of it, you can't say that because he's slipped and said his true feelings about it and how he was nervous and he felt some type of way about it and he wasn't uncomfortable with it. So you could tell that he like folded and yielded and bent into it. But then after it happened, now he's like, oh shit, I think I liked it. So all of that is in the equation.
Thoughts on that, and if how people should think about that in the context of me being, you know, the silent third party in all this.
Well, I don't know. Like you can.
As a result of this, like the cuck narrative is very, very strong. I just want to get your thoughts on that, and if how people should think about that in the context of me being, you know, the silent third party in all this.
Well, I don't know. Like if you look at it in the business aspect, then basically it was just a job, you know. She's high up in her ranks. I'm high up in my ranks. Us two together obviously would make the most amounts of money. So it's not so much being a cook. If you're comfortable with it, y'all communicated it prior. Obviously, she said y'all did. So it's not really a cook situation. It's more of like two people coming and making an understanding.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're cool with it, then, you know, it is what it is. Me personally, I don't know if I have enough in me to allow it, but everyone's different. Everyone have different levels of, how I say, mental maturity.
Well, it would be kind of.
See, mental maturity, that's playing on the female talking points with it. You know, I think he was speaking as a man when he said, I wouldn't allow it, because it is something about most men who are uncompromised to where, no, you're just not going to be okay with that. If we have a label on this, this is a thing, and I'm doing things for you that men are traditionally supposed to do for women, I'm not going to be okay under any circumstances, whether it's business, whether it makes us more money. The man already explained he make $2 million a year, basically. I mean, I'm sorry, $2 million a month. So let's just say hypothetically, if let's just say they got $12 million just sitting around in the bank. It's probably more, but let's just say they got $12 million sitting around in the bank. If this one event just made them go from 12 million to an instant bump to 3 more million, is that is going from 12 to 15 really, is that really fucking matter? It's like, no. So it turns into a situation where it's like, no, there's something that's, I guess I would say, common in men that's missing in a man who is okay with that. It's something in just normal, just your masculine, just self being in value and worth, to where you're okay with sharing a woman who you're doing all of this for, who you're providing all of this for, who you're giving children to. If you're okay with sharing her in any context, there's something missing inside of you. I don't care how other people want to explain that and acknowledge that. Oh, okay, everybody different. Yes, people are different. All right. You know, some people are gay, yeah, okay. Some people are cucks. Okay, everybody's different. But it's like it turns into that, almost to a degree, like that binary. Well, men and masculinity can be expressed in many different ways, and it turns into that. It's like it puts you on the spectrum. It puts you somewhere on that the LGBTQRSTUV plus spectrum if you're turned on by your woman being with another dude. It does. And I don't know if I'm reaching right there with that one, but it says something. It says something. Boy. Calling a white boy a cuck don't change the fact that he is culture vulturing off of black folks. Name calling is not power, and this doesn't hurt his brand at all because she was and is a porn star. I'm not even going to say it hurt. Well, okay. The whole culture vulturing off black people, yeah, that's an element in this equation that I haven't even bothered to take the time to even average that into any of this. So I mean, I gotta set that part aside. You said calling a white boy a cuck don't change the fact. No, it don't change the fact that he's culture vulturing off black folks. I don't think nobody is arguing that. Name calling is not power. I don't think nobody is saying that it's power. Now, the interesting part of what you said, does this hurt his brand at all? You said this doesn't hurt his brand at all because she was a porn star. Okay. When they met, I don't know how deep she was into the game. She got deeper into the game while with him. Like, she said that she's never did another scene with a guy. Now, I don't know if she said she meant she never did another scene with a guy since they've been together, or never did another scene with a guy, period. So I think she was always just doing girl on girl scenes. So it's not like she was just routinely just getting that work from other men. It was always just with girls and with him. So it's like, people are saying she's a porn star as if he just went and wifed up, Alexis Texas at the peak of her career. Like, no, this chick was like barely in the game, and I think I did some lesbian scenes. So it's like he made her, like, him cross marketing the Adam 20 to the No Jumper podcast with a podcast that he do with her called Plug Talk, or whatever. Cross marketing those two things made her big in the porn industry, because just like his name and brand is able to get big name people to come in and be interviewed by him, his name and his brand was able to get the big name porn stars to come be interviewed by them. And that's how she became big in the porn industry. And then those big name porn stars, the women, she would go and do lesbian scenes with them, or girl on girl scenes with them. And then he would join in with some of those scenes. That's how she got big in the industry. So to just say, oh, but she's a porn star, I mean, no, he made her. It's like, so So it's not the same. It's not like he just met this wifed up Jenna Jameson at the top of her career. It's like, no, he created this. He created this, so he should have control over it. And if he didn't want her to do that, then no, she shouldn't have did that. And at first he didn't want to do it, but then now she did it. Now he's saying he turned on by it. So overall, to your point, the will this hurt his brand? It won't hurt his brand at all because she is a porn star. Being that dude who lets, I don't know, it will hurt some aspects of it. It will hurt some aspects of it. Anything you do on the internet is still going to get views, but just out in man world, just put it like this: there's a huge percentage of his audience that basically loses respect for him. I don't think you could get around that one. I don't think you can get around that one. It's a huge percentage of the fandom of the No Jumper podcast that loses respect for him after this. Says you might want to put that white ninja on suicide watch. It's about the money he's been had. Money is about worshiping his whore wife. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate, not the super chat, but thank you for your comments. All right, let's get back into it.
Weird for you to find a dude bigger than you.
Holy shit! Resurrect. Oh, wow.
But everyone's different. Everyone have different levels of, how I say, mental maturity.
Well, it would be kind of weird for you to find a dude bigger than you. Maybe they could resurrect Andre the Giant or something. Maybe you could get Brock Lesnar to come through and cut it up for you. But I mean,
all right. Black dude, I forgot his name. He was saying that he's not necessarily okay or comfortable with it, because people got different levels of mental maturity. Adam 22 looked at that and said, well, it'd be hard for you to find somebody to do it because it's hard for you to find somebody bigger than you. That's cuck lingo, because part of being a cuck is that you want the guy that's having sex with your woman to be bigger than you. And now, so I guess he seen, this man's a porn star, so he's seen this man's junk and saying it'd be hard for you to find somebody bigger than you, so you really couldn't even properly be a cuck. Like, that's basically what that was. Like, he's sitting there talking about how big the dude junk is. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, you're somewhere on the spectrum when you start getting into that, where the size of the junk of the dude that's smashing your wife is matters. Like, that's part of the whole thing. That's what they call it the bull, that the white guys that like to watch black dudes have sex with their girlfriends. They want the dude to be well endowed. They want to know that she's taking more than what she can handle. It's like, one, I've never been that guy who's done anything like that with some white dude watching. But I've never took nobody up on that offer, but that offer has been put on the table. I've never took anybody up on that offer. That offer has been put up on the table where a woman has asked, a white woman has asked, would you be okay with my boyfriend watching? I'm like, well, no, fuck no. Hell to the no. Like, that's that's a thing. That's a thing. I literally heard a chick tell me, it was the craziest thing I ever heard. She said her ex-husband used to like for her to go have raw sex with black men, used to like for them to actually nut in her. And then he wanted to have sex with her immediately afterwards, I guess while it was still in there. Like, I'm saying that once you cross that Rubicon where you're turned on in any way by your woman getting plowed, you are now on the spectrum, somewhere on that LGBTQRSTUV plus whatever spectrum. You're on it. Can't get around that.
And you're kind of like with the biggest dude that I could think of. I don't know. It's gonna be tough for you to find a bigger guy.
Oh, they got a couple.
Yeah.
But it's not just the size; it's everything that goes into it that makes it.
Definitely. Lena is just like shriveling up into a ball right now. I can see how uncomfortable this is making you.
Yes, it is making me very uncomfortable. And I'm glad that he's only, on Zoom and not here right now.
Do you think that would be awkward?
Yes. Also, I feel like I'd feel a lot of sexual tension, and I felt like we would have to do a scene if you guys were both here.
See, she's out of control now. She's on a tear.
When Adam 22 was having a real nervous, jittery sounding moment where he was like in the third rule that I had with it, because he said, as long as he doesn't come in your face, you don't kiss him in the mouth. And the third thing is that I don't want to feel like that you have to do this all the time and I have to accept this all the time. And now even after he said that, she's sitting there laughing like, oh, if he was here, then we would all have to do a scene together right now. So it's like, there's a difference in the energy with his raw reaction when he was amongst guys talking about this amongst his guys that he have on his show versus where he's at now. Maybe things change because he watched the scene and saw how much he liked it, but there is an energy change.
I've been known to have that effect. I apologize.
See, all right, now I'm gonna have to really mind you next time you're going to an adult event that he's gonna be at, right?
No, but I would be turned on if you were there. Yeah, it's like you're part of it.
So you think that if me and you go out to a party and we see him, that there's a chance that we'd all end up hooking up after?
I don't know what his stance is on working with you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
I don't care.
Oh, hell yeah.
I get it in regardless.
Damn, that would be, yeah, I can see that. That would probably kind of make me feel like I had put a cap on this whole situation if we all did it together. Wow, maybe that is the three-way that we should do, because that would be pretty viral rather than just some random guy, right?
Yeah. See, now it's not. It's you can see where the transition to where, okay, this is what we do now. We're doing this now. Now let's do it for real. Let's do it for realsy now. Let's go all out with it. Let's go. So it's turning into a thing where now it's just. I understand what the argument of they just doing business at this point, which they are. But there's enough read between the lines shit going on to where,
yeah,
it would be crazy.
As long as I'm not sitting in a chair with my fucking arms tied behind my back or whatever.
You gotta hold the camera for one shot.
All right.
See now, now he's on some, I'm cucking, but it's like diet cucking. I'm participating in the scene. The real cucks, they just sit in the chair. They just sit in the chair wallowing in self-pity. But me, I'm gonna, this just sounds goofy as hell.
Because now I got to rewrite the script.
Yeah. What do people need to know about Jason Love, since like you're kind of, I almost feel like a large percentage, maybe even the majority of the photos that you're going to be taking over the next year or so, it's going to be people saying like, you're the dude who fucked Adam 22's wife. I don't know. I mean, I know you get recognized all the time, but it's kind of an interesting scenario that you're in now, right?
I got stopped on the street like 4 or 5 times already. Normally it's just to talk to me about me, but then it was like, oh, you no jumper wife. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
How does that feel that a guy is famous for fucking your wife? Yeah, I remember that it was that dude that was going around on the internet saying, I'm Tyrone and I'm here to fuck your wife. That's what this dude is. Oh man. The guy that's famous for fucking your wife. Okay.
Wow. Insane.
Like, take a picture with my wife, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna get more of those offers.
Oh wow. White dude, had to be white, told him, hey, take a picture with my wife.
See, I've only had a couple people say that to me. I'm sure he gets that all the time.
All the time.
Right. So if we do choose to have another kid, how am I going to know it's mine and not?
Oh my God, I can't. No, cut. What?
What?
Don't even bring that up. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's one of the good memes that people have been passing around. It's like me cuddling with your belly and it's a little black kid inside it.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Is BBC offensive?
No, it's just a visual description. It's not. You're just saying it is what it is. You see it. That's what it is. It's not,
that's what I'm saying. But I wonder if I get too comfortable with talking about black people shit because of the fact that like all my co-hosts on the podcast are black and stuff, because I've seen some of these lily white fucking hipster bitches on Twitter just raging out, being like, BBC is offensive. And I won't respond to them, but I am thinking in my head, like, you have never been around black people besides getting fucked by them for your OnlyFans. So shut the fuck up. That's kind of what's going on in the back of my head.
I don't like using it.
It's not offensive, but it is worth pointing out that is something that they came up with, the word cock. We black people don't use the word cock. So it's their words. It's their shit. They named it.
Yeah, because I feel like I just feel uncomfortable using it.
I don't care if you see a school bus and it's yellow. You're like, where did you park? By the big yellow school bus. That's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's a statement of fact. And like, you know, in the real world, fetishization, I can see why that's a bad thing. You know, if you walk up to an Asian girl and you're like, oh, I'm so turned on by Asian girls, I can see how that's like a bad thing. But we're in porn. This is like, we are here to satisfy fetishes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Right.
We at the hour and 44-minute mark. I'll
What
put
do
the
you
link in
got
the chat.
coming up?
Hold on
Anything in
real
the future
quick.
that we should know about? You're going on some trips.
All right, we're at the 1 hour and 44-minute mark. I'll put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to come up and have a piece of this conversation, any of the conversations that's been had. My overall view on this. Yes, I'm going to clown it. Yes, I do have my views about the men. I think you're lightweight on the spectrum if you're getting off by another man giving you a woman that work. If you're getting off on that, turned on by that, yeah, you're lightweight on the spectrum. I stand on that point. So this is you know, almost like a damn near I won't say coming out with Adam 22. I won't go that far. But it's like it's something goofy about that. However, I mean something goofy and kind of gay about it. But you know, I will say this, that if it's crossed over to the point to where both people 100% agree with and is okay with what they're doing, even though Adam 22 looked like he got kind of slow walked into being okay with it. But if all parties, all sides are okay and 100% cool with what's going on, it's like whatever. They grown and that's how they choose to make money, even though it's stupid because they were already making $2 million a month without that. So they didn't need that. That was a want. Like that whole thing that they're doing, like it's business, but at the same time, it's technically a passion project, if you understand what I'm saying. Like you can't just put it under the business label. They didn't need the business. It's a passion project. It's what she wanted to do, and he's been slow walked into liking it. It's hard to get around that. But D-Rock Den in the building says ARC RIP would have enjoyed this topic. Yeah, he would have. Shout out to ARC. Rest in peace.
These last $2, I'm not gonna lose.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me bring up. Guess we got Pablo, we got the standard RLC, and we have OG J Speed in the building. OG J Speed in the building, standard RLC, and Pablo Fresco Bar. Adam 22 got added to the Yep. Adam 22 got added to the fray. Man. Somebody new each week could get added on there. Somebody new each week get added on there. Pablo, are you there?
I am here. How am I coming through?
You're coming through. Your voice sounds very good, but it also sounds like you're damn near on an airplane. But go ahead.
Well, driving. But
Yeah, okay.
This falls under the realm for me of people trying to normalize the abnormal. So
Yeah.
just like just like the rainbow people try to normalize their particular lifestyle in society, even though they're only 4% of like of the people of this country. They try to make it seem like, oh yeah, this is just regular. This is just how it is. It's okay, and um, while it may be between consenting adults, I have no problem with it. But to try to paint it off as, oh, well, this is everyday life. This is just no. It's an outlier. It is extreme. It is deviant. So that's my take. I don't like they want to try to pass it off as normal because they don't want the shame, they don't want the guilt, they don't want all that. They just want to do it and and everybody else not say nothing. But I mean, I'm not mad at them, but to say that it's to try to pass it off as it's a normal lifestyle is just not true. That's just wrong.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I want divided isn't the right word. I'm not divided on anything with it, but there's a live and let live and don't care aspect of me, but when I see overall on a wide scale, like I look at how people responded to Kiki Palmer and Usher, and she got a whole man with father of her children who's supposed to not care. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like the modern society wants to just kind of like slow walk men into being okay with being cucks. That's what I see happening.
Right.
So that's where my pushback mostly is. But then for the
Oh
small
no, I'm
percentage
with
of
you.
men, hold on, real quick, for the small percentage of men who are truly on that spectrum, and I think something is kind of gay about it. But for the small percentage of men who are truly on that spectrum, it's like, hey, do your thing. If you truly okay with it and you happy, that ain't none of my business. I do feel like that. But go ahead.
But if he was truly okay with it, would he be up there explaining it?
Facts. It would just be like, hey, me me and my woman, me and my wife are doing a new hot steamy scene with a guy whose junk is about the size of this damn water bottle, and go sign up to our OnlyFans. It's gonna be amazing, and it would just be that simple. But he
Right. They were just working into the show. They would have done a promo on the whole kit.
yeah, it's like we saw him go through a lot of the stages of grief. And I don't know where acceptance is at on there, but he's at that stage. Apparently, he's accepted it, but he went through some stages of grief. But yeah. So but we're gonna pass it to the standard RLC in the building. Go ahead. You have the floor. You have the mic.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I wanted to touch on the Keke Palmer thing.
Okay.
Because at first, I was kind of in the same camp of thinking, like, first of all, I think people attacking him for having standards for his family is wrong. But so I started with that at first. And then I was kind of giving him sympathy because people were calling him a hypocrite. They like, he posts pictures of her all the time. And I was like, well, maybe he had a change of heart after the baby came, right? And so somebody sent me a video from comedian Ryan Davis that talked about, basically he chronicled their whole thing, and he posted a picture of her shaking her ass in a bodysuit talking about my son changed her body. And from that point, I was like, all right, I don't have any sympathy for him because you basically got what you asked for. And one of my friends had actually asked me a question. He said, he's like, why are we defending essentially what's a beta? Like, this is what he wanted. He's under her. He hypes up her ratchetness, and then when it goes too far in his eyes, then it's a problem. So after all of that, to me, his tweet that talked about having standards for his family and all that stuff, while it is valid for him, it just comes off as weak and jealousy.
Here's the thing, though. When somebody say, why are we defending a beta? I think that tries to localize it or just make the argument really narrow, and it loses sight of the fact that there's a whole society out there. Just look at all the response, look at the whole comment section that is basically pushing the idea that men who got background. You got background noise.
I'm sorry, that's me.
It's the whole society pushing the idea that men should be okay with that. That you got your woman, she's your woman, y'all a family, but you should be okay with her being at a Usher concert with her ass out and then getting up there and spinning around for him and all the whole, like, no, it's like they want him to be okay with that. They want not just him. They want men in general to be okay with that. They get to act like whores. We'll have to treat them like ladies. That's what they're pushing for, and that's the bigger issue. Now, whether or not he's a beta or this or that, I don't know. I did see that picture where where I think he was the one who had the camera showing off her ass, saying, look what this look what the baby did to her body or whatever like that. Yeah, he was doing that. And there's a line where a man, with his woman can be on some, show it off, flaunt it a little bit, but you go to a whole concert probably in a whole nother city or state without me with your ass cheeks out and you on stage doing that. It's like, nah, like that ain't your damn concert. You ain't. It's like, she got up there flaunting her ass for Usher and looked like she was damn near about to, was acting like she was, hot and wet after the whole experience. It's like, nah, like men shouldn't be okay with that.
No, I don't think men should be okay with it either. Like when I saw it, like I thought the dress was okay, but then I saw the backside and I'm like, oh yeah, she went too far. But I think for me specifically with him, I just don't like for you to say on Twitter, like, okay, I heard a couple women say this and I think it's true. If he had just said it was over Usher and not her being a mother, like I think it would have been better, because when he says, oh my God, you're a mother. Well, she was a mother when you was posting her shaking her ass, and she was a mother when you posted her half naked and pregnant. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm like, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, you got to be consistent, bro, because you can't say she's a mother and then not expect her to go out there and show her ass, especially after you've been supporting it all this time. So I think that's me. Like, trust and believe. Like, I'm with everybody else. I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that. If you got a family, best representation and all of that. I just think specifically for him, that's kind of where I'm kind of like, all right, bro, you asked for it. As far as other people goes, I'm absolutely there with you. We shouldn't have to accept it. It's just with a guy like that, I understand why it is the way it is with him.
All right.
And see, this is what goes on though. Real
quick. Sin7Sin GBG says that isn't her husband. What's that supposed to mean?
That's another thing that they say.
What's your point right there when you say that isn't her husband?
He can't tell her nothing because that's not her husband. That's what they are.
I want him to answer that. I want him to answer that. Okay, he said Beyonce has a performance. Is this a girl? I guess it's a girl. Oh yeah, that's a girl. I couldn't even tell. That looks small. Okay, Beyonce has a performance with Usher. Looks similar, but no one talked about it. Bullshit. That was not the same thing. Beyonce is performing. She's the performer. Beyonce dressed like that on stage when she's performing. If she's doing a duet or a collaborative performance with somebody, it's going to look a certain way. But even then, it don't look personal, intimate like that, where Beyonce is having a raw reaction of being turned on and aroused and like after her and Usher was all close together, it's like she turned and she spun for him, and it's like no. She bought a ticket to the concert. Like, cut it out. Like, that's not the same thing. That ain't damn near the same thing. But I do want you to explain sin, seven sin. What's your point in saying that's not her husband? What's your point in saying that's not her husband? You can come up and argue that point if you want to. But I want to hear in your own words what's your point in saying that's not her husband. All right, we're gonna go to OG J Speed in the building. You got the floor, you got the mic.
Good morning to you, Bernard, and good morning to your guests in the panel, Pablo, People Bryson, and this guy, RC, I don't know his name.
The standard RLC.
Okay. Wonderful take on this. I agree with his perspective of what he said. But if y'all want to listen to me this morning, I'm gonna probably suck some air out of the room and bring this to a full circle. All right. Number one, most of all the things that you talked about this morning are somewhat in the entertainment realm. Let's just start with the first thing you talked about this morning, with the LBG thing that Gilbert, I think that's his name, the basketball
Gilbert
player,
Arenas,
Gilbert.
yeah.
Yes. It amazes me how white people, because he was on Van TV, I think that's a white guy, whatever that is. It amazes me how they like to slip in things. When he said if he was looking at a show and the man came out and said, I hate white people. Okay. Blanket statement, that could be looked at if you wanted to make that argument the way they made it. Yeah, it would seem to be okay that he made some kind of point, but he didn't. It's as if that white people don't have a history with black people, and that's why they would say something like that, versus if a white person would say something like that. And I think that's the part of how we get things, try to tie things in together that don't make any sense when you put it under the microscope. Because we do have a history with white people, and we would say something like that just due to the fact on GP of the history we have with them. So it would be two different things. So it just amazed me how some people try to slip things in, and it just let me know what they have in the back of their mind in the first place. Number two, I hope I'm not coming through too loud.
No, you're not coming through loud. But since you're moving on to another topic, let me take the time to address this. She's saying because he's coming from traditionalism while being a modern man. So what you're saying is because he's not married to her yet, or they're not married, that he is not that she's not duty bound to behave and conduct herself in any type of way that makes sense. But I'm pretty sure that in that situation, even though in this situation, I'm more than likely make more money than we was trying to figure out what the nigga did for a living. We don't know. But I'm pretty sure that in most situations, you would still make that argument that ain't her husband, even if he was making more money, even if he was paying all the bills, even if he was doing all the husbandly things, basically demonstrating the type of man, the type of husband he would be. That would make that's what he would or should do. That would show her the type of man he is, and that's somebody who she might want to marry. You would expect a man to demonstrate those things before a woman find him marriageable. But your argument, if we follow the logic all the way home, is that women can still be 100% for the streets, and we're supposed to just not observe current behavior and not assume that that's going to be that's an example of future behavior. That no, we should see them out full blown in the streets, put a ring on it, and think that she's just going to go through full metamorphosis and turn into something that she's not demonstrating that she is. That's essentially what it is. That's where that argument comes from. You know, he ain't that ain't his wife. She not married to him. She could do whatever she want to do. Okay, so he could be a bum. So a man could be a bum. He ain't got to do right by you. He don't got to do shit for you. You ain't his wife yet. So people just act however the hell they want to, and then we just gonna cross our fingers and hope that they turn into a different person after they get married. No, you are who you are. That's the stupidity in that whole argument where you're trying to say that, well, he coming from a place of traditionalism but still being a modern man, but you want her to be able to be an outright modern woman, but still get treated traditionally and wifed up traditionally. It don't, no, hell no. It don't work like that.
Hey Bernard, I don't think they want to get married. And
oh no,
two,
that part is true as well. But I'm just saying, following the logic of her argument, of her saying that
for sure,
she's not his wife, and he's talking from a space of traditionalism.
And get this too, if they did end up getting married, and he then decided, hey, I want this to change, her reaction would be, well, you had me like this in the first place. You knew what it was. So they know they're not going to change. So for them to say, once they married, or once he's married, he can say something, they don't believe that.
Yeah, no, that's absolute nonsense. Notion of it's gonna be different if you're married. Because look at this, he said if they were married, he would have right to expectations. Okay, so when people in relationships, even when they live together, even when they have children together, there are zero expectations. That makes sense to you. Zero expectations. We're not supposed to see no kind of behavior that demonstrates anything or makes any sense at all. We just supposed to just, okay, yeah. She could be out in the street selling pussy. No expectations. Wipe her up and she'll change. I don't think it worked that way.
But no, I
go ahead, OG. Whatever other point you was made. I'm through with saying. I think I dismantled that one.
I really wanted to hear Edward Anderson perspective on this whole thing, especially this back end that we are talking about. I was hoping he was going to come up today and give his perspective on it, because he's usually pretty good when it comes to stuff like this. But let me just move into what you were just talking about, that some of us not even have thought about. And for a person who have worked in entertainment for 4.5 decades, I don't think y'all even bring that in perspective. Number one, she's in a VIP section. So he had to know that she was going to be in that section in the first place. All right? And so this is what I just say, that we can't use reference or examples when it comes down to entertainment for the mainstream. Because when we do, it can get conflicted, because somebody said it first, Beyonce, and you dismantle, you just say that was different. No, it's not. See, when you are in a VIP section, me have went to academies and stuff as what we call seat warmers. That's people who wear tuxedos, so when an actual star get up or something and go to receive their award, when they have the cameras through the audience, they don't want empty seats. So you would use people like seat warmers. We become part of the performance. And so what I'm saying, with her sitting in that VIP section, and just like everybody else who was sitting there, you become part of that show. And that's the entertainment value of that. And I think that's what we do miss when we try to use these examples of people who are into this show business thing and try to make it mainstream. And I understand.
Now, listen, well, hold on, wait, real quick. I understand what you're saying. I understand there's a literal argument that can be made that, okay, she's an entertainer. She looked at going to that concert like it was a red carpet event. So she put on the most provocative outfit she possibly could to make a splash to get on stage with Usher. That's good for her, getting clicks and views all on social media. It was business. I understand it from that perspective. However, when you look at this in its totality and people's reaction to it, I do believe that there's an obvious culture of what's going on online where they're basically saying that men in general should be okay with that. Men in general shouldn't have any standards when it comes to the woman that they're actually calling their woman. Not just some random, but I'm talking a woman that they're actually calling their woman, that they're doing things for, that they're probably taking care of, that they got children with, that they live with. They should have no standards. You should be okay with her having her ass out like that. There's a culture of that where they're not criticizing it from the standpoint of, it was business. She's in the entertainment business. You got to do something a little salacious here and there. No, they're criticizing it from the standpoint that he shouldn't care. that no man should care, even if he's doing modern traditional shit. He shouldn't care if she got her ass out in the streets. That's what's being argued. They're trying to slow walk men into being okay with being cucked. That's what they're doing. That's my argument.
Okay, my whole thing is, if they have any kind of communication, he knew what she was wearing and he knew she was going to be in that VIP section. You don't just pop up and be in the VIP section, bro. It's planned, all right, because it's protection for the star. It's a whole security thing has to go.
So now your argument is that he knew that she was. No,
that's not my argument.
How you gonna say he knew that she was gonna wear the outfit that he had a problem with later on? If he had a problem with it,
I'm saying even if he didn't or did, it still comes back to the same thing. And I agree along with your argument when it comes down to the trickle down effect. That in the general public, yes, you are totally 100% correct. It would be wrong. But I'm saying is using examples of, if you had got this video from some no-name person and this was like that, I think I would be 100% with it. But when you bring that entertainment value to it, I think we have to be very careful and let it be known we're talking about a trickle-down effect versus the entertainment value of that part of it. And so that's my whole point with that. And let me move on to the last part.
All
right. The last part of this is, I hear over and over throughout these channels that we speak about some of the bad behavior and the culture of black people. And so when we come up with this that you were talking about, the last, and this is why history is so important about this last conversation you had about the topic with the white girl and whatever. I don't know if she's white or whatever, but this is part of their culture, man. This has nothing to do with entertainment. This is part of their culture. And we don't want to identify with that more than anything. We try to bring that down to the mainstream, but that culture is just as different as our hip hop culture versus their country and Western culture. To me, when we have these discussions about people having like that and we try to bring it down to the mainstream of black people behavior, I'm not saying that there's not a percentage of black people who don't do that, who don't swing and do these type of things, but it's not part of our culture. It's not part of our mainstream. And so you take people, and this is why I say history. If you know the history of the Italians used to go to Africa and cut off African's private part and use it for aphrodisiacs. And if you know that they had this thing, see, this is what I'm saying. History is the true evidence of what we're experiencing now. Italians used to go into Africa, and not only that, but give men fellatio, and they think it would make their a private part grow bigger. So when you know this history of these things, and there's no conspiracy, you can find document after document of what I just said. And so I have never been a big fan of porno in the first place, because that's like watching somebody else's private part as you watching the girl's private part. So this is a turn on for them in the first place. I mean, and then the guy said that was just business. Okay, so if he had a scene with a man and he was doing he was doing one of them LBG type videos, would that just be business? See, this is where you separate the entertainment from the act. All right? There are some things that you call business still would be you have to deal with the act. What you just did was homosexuality, but you call it business, but you still just did that act. And so this is what I'm talking about. When you see how this conversation built to him not admitting that it turned him on, to it turned him on. When she started saying, we had more sex in the last month, we have boom, 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 boom. So now the information is getting out. So he has to be honest about what was turning him on about. And then when he got into the size of the thing, now this is where I'll talk about porno, men watching other men having sex with their wife's girlfriend, concubine, or whatever. The turn on is fantasizing through another man's private part, having sex with your girl, bro. And this is what we deal with.
You saying, hold on, you saying just watching it in general? Or you
I
talking
say
about
walking.
specifically?
Wait, I'm saying watching it in general. This could be a part of that.
Watching it in general, I don't think that's
I think
fantasize. I don't.
studies.
I don't. Let me explain. You don't
Okay.
even know what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I don't think watching it in general is fantasizing through another man's junk, having sex with your girl. It is there. There is a. I'll meet you halfway and say there's an element of it where you are getting enjoyment watching the act. I don't want to say watching another man have sex because I'm assuming that if you're a straight man, you're not turned on by him doing it. You're turned on looking at the woman. So that's where it gets into a not fully accurate argument to me to somebody try to say that watching porn in general means that you just kind of gay, watching it.
Well, studies have shown that the videos that are made with women who are using dildos versus women who are actually having sex with another man, there's almost like 7-1. So that would have to fall into line of what I just said. That you are watching. No, you can't make the man's junk disappear, bro. Regardless of how you look at it, you can't make him. And you are watching the act of her and reacting to another man's junk. So what I'm trying to say is that these studies have already been done. They are out there. And so it shows you when a woman is using, dildos and all kinds of other things, them videos are not as viewed as the ones who are actually having sex
because
with
you're not watching a woman have sex. You're watching.
Well, she is having sex when she uses. Wait a minute, she is having sex when she's using a dildo.
That's not the same, but I'll just say this: if what you're saying is accurate, that that somebody is kind of on the spectrum, if they just like to watch porn at all, to that I say that pornography gets more views than YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, basically all the other top 5 streaming services, YouTube included, all combined. Porn gets more views than all of that stuff, all combined. So that means every human being walking the earth is somewhere on the spectrum, because practically every human being walking the earth watches a little bit of porn.
Well, to say that you're starting to sound like the LBGT, just saying everybody does certain things.
No. Okay, go ahead.
No. Listen, I'm dealing with strictly the numbers of the people who do watch, and see when you try to bring that into mainstreams, that's where I have a problem with that, because everybody don't watch porn. I mean, there are the same people who are tying into porn. It's part of their life. They're tying it to it, and so that's where the addiction of it comes in. And what I'm saying is, if the man was not there, and the studies have shown that the viewership is not there. So if you're there just to watch the woman pleasurize herself. And
no, nobody said that. Nobody said that they're just to watch the woman pleasurize herself.
I'm saying that. If you're there, the study shows if you're there to watch the woman just to pleasurize herself and react to what she's doing, the viewership is not there compared to if a live human being is giving her that same pleasure. And this is where the important part of that comes in, is you are actually watching another man's junk and her react to another man's junk. And so you're never going to be able to get away from that. And the numbers shows that. So I'm just saying that these are part of these people culture, and for some reason or another, with all this degraded lifestyle, we become the poster child of it, and somewhere down the line. And that's where it can start to trickle down into the mainstream. And that's my whole argument towards the whole thing. It's bad behavior, regardless of you look at it, if it's entertaining or it's not entertainment. It's bad behavior. But I just like that part of the story to be told too. So it's not like what she was wearing, believe it or not, I live in California, what she was wearing with Dr. Silk stuff on top of it. Women wear at the beach all the time. So, this is where it could get a little goofy when we start to, look at things.
In certain
for
contexts,
what,
there's nothing wrong with that outfit. It's just a sexy revealing outfit with butt cheeks out.
right,
That's fine.
right, and that's the
My
same thing.
my woman can't go to an Usher concert or no concert and get on stage and do that. And I have a serious problem with it, and she would cease be my woman. She says I'm a woman no more if you do that. So we can we just talk about men and manhood and what men should or shouldn't allow and shouldn't be okay with, and how society tries to slow walk us into being okay with all manners of women, basically try to slow walk us into being okay with cocodrie instead of just trying to say, well, they dress like that on the beach. What's the difference for dressing like that? It's like, no,
I don't think anything that I have said, Bernard, and this is where me and you do get off the rail. I don't think anything I say when I bring up the whole totality of the whole thing of the topic, when I give the total circle of what it is, that I'm disagreeing with you. I think that it makes it a stronger point when I bring the whole story and then break it down and say, it's just bad behavior regardless of how you look at it. So what I have always tried to do is, when I do things, is look at it things as what it is and then break it down, put it under the microscope. And I'm agreeing with you 100%. But I think without bringing that in, it opens up the window for someone else to come in and tear it up due to the fact they can just use the entertainment perspective of it. And so when you do the whole circle, it's going to come out to what you are talking about. But now you have opened the whole story up. And then saying this can be trickled down to the mainstream of people, and they are trying to, hypnotize us into this lifestyle or whatever. Me and you don't disagree with that. I just think me and you disagree is when I bring the whole story in and then break it down and end up where you at in your square, and you always think I'm trying to lessen it, and I'm not. What I'm doing is making sure it's solid, that nobody can break it down.
All right, so we gotta. All right, cool. Very well, very well. We gonna snatch the mic from OG right now. Go somebody else, please say something.
Bernard, can I? Yeah, can I speak on the Keke Palmer situation?
Go ahead.
So you don't think all that week that brother had to hear about? Oh, I'm getting ready. We going to Usher? Oh, I'm gonna get this outfit. Oh, this. Oh, that. I'm pretty sure she was prepping that brother all week, talking about herself getting ready to go to this concert. That's what happens when you a house husband. When you're a kept man, oh, I believe she was in that dude's ear all week about how excited she was to go to this Usher concert, and then for her to bust out with them cheeks out, oh, I think that's why he lost.
I mean, you could see, you could see it just clear plain as day on stage that she was like legitimately, turned. she was legitimately turned on by it. I mean, that's, entertain. One thing to be an entertainer, if she came up there and just did something entertaining, got the mic, sang for a little bit, but nah, she came up there and got all aroused. She was fangirling. She came out there with her cheeks out and fangirled, and her father of her children said that no, this ain't cool.
It looked like a scene out of 5 Heartbeat, bros. Y'all, see,
I know.
See, this is where y'all get twisted at. Y'all don't understand when you in VIP, you are set down and they'll talk about. I mean, even the Price is Right, bro. A lot of people, you thought them people was acting the way. There are people, but no, what I'm trying to tell you. When you get into this entertainment thing, man, that people sit down and groom you and tell you how you're supposed to react in certain kinds of ways. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. That what she did was no different than the scene you seen out of what? 5 Heartbeat.
That scene was horrible.
I know, I understand, but I'm agreeing along with you.
They went up to that man's woman, grabbed her by the hand, sang to her. She got all wet, aroused, and then one of them kiss her and make her pass out or something like that.
Can you see the tie-in?
Huh?
Can you see the tie?
So, OG, are you saying she
Yeah,
was
I see the
acting, or are you
tie-in.
saying
yes,
that's how
yes.
Okay,
she?
and if social media was around back
Yes.
then, they should say he supposed to be okay with that. That's
No,
what they.
we're
That's
not.
what I
We're not
mean.
talking about. Wait a minute. We're not talking about is it okay or not. Let's start out with
I know
what is real.
you're transitioning the argument. What happens at concerts for the people on the front row, how they could become a part of the show, and if another celebrity show up and they're on the front row and they're dressed in full performance, then yeah, they're going to be a part of the.
She was already part of the show when she was in VIP. That's what I'm trying to make y'all understand.
I understand that. That part I understand.
And I go with Pablo what he said earlier, that he was groomed to know what she was about to do. That falls right in line with what I said from the beginning. He knew.
All right. Okay, all right. So if he was already on some beta male on the beta male cuck train, my woman can do whatever she want to do, and I don't care. And I don't care. She gonna make me look bad. She gonna embarrass me. She gonna make me look like less of a man in front of the world, and I'm just gonna be okay with it. If that's how he operating, then that's how he operating. All I'm saying is that his comments that he made were not the comments of somebody who was operating like that. His comments said, and I'm about to read it again, we live in a generation where if a man of a family doesn't want his wife and mother of his kids, he's claiming her as a wife, they saying they ain't married, doesn't want his wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. That's the statement.
But OG was trying to smuggle.
No, I ain't trying to smuggle nothing. I ain't never stole nothing.
Wait a minute, you try to smuggle my argument into yours. That was not my argument.
What
Bernard
you
explained,
said
that was
you
not
said
my
what
argument.
you said. You said what you said, bro.
No.
You said
What I'm trying to say is he wait a minute, she was overly excited about going to this concert the whole lead up to it. He saw this, maybe he didn't say anything, but when it was put dead in front of his face with some booty cheeks in his face, he got pissed, as he should.
How about PR? How about PR and Monday morning quarterbacking? Let's go there.
I would wonder if he well, this is a Monday morning quarterback, I guess. I wonder if he knew before she even went, because his reaction seemed to be kind of emotional. So I don't know if he was caught off guard, or he saw it before, said no, and she did it anyway, and he got pissed.
Well, pose he did know about it, and pose he started getting pushed back on what someone else around him started to pressure him, and he decided to make this PR move like he didn't know anything about this bullshit.
He ain't got no PR.
So it's all a setup for attention.
Time out. I was already laughing at the pose he didn't know, and then he just put the icing on the cake. Pose he didn't know about the P-ara move.
I said, suppose he did know. I didn't say he didn't know.
No, you didn't say suppose. You said pose.
I said, suppose he did know.
Okay, pose he did know about the P-ara move. That's what you said. Ara.
Okay. Well, whatever it might be comes around, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff right here. Look, if you got a girl and she's out there doing this bullshit, it's bad behavior however you look at it. But I think, I think it's bad example. And you used another bad example today, too. That Will Smith thing, and you try to bring it in that he was Will Smith reacted right on the spot. This was a reaction after. There's a difference when you plan a murder and when you do it on the spot, bro. So that was a bad example.
He wasn't there. He couldn't react on the spot.
It don't make no difference. He wasn't. Wait. It don't make any difference. It's just a bad example trying to tie both ends together. However you look at it, Pablo. See, this is what happens when you are not listening to the preacher and you're reading scripture for yourself. Somebody can talk you into understanding something that is not really is played out in your face, but they're
You mean like the preacher?
Any
Yeah, the preacher do it all the time. The preacher do it all the time.
Talk you to stuff all the time.
This is what I'm talking about. This is remember, you're making my point. You're making my point.
Then. You backwards then, because
no, I'm not. I'm saying Bernard was saying one thing versus something else was happening. Bernard became the preacher, and you didn't read the script.
Okay. I thought you were saying it's better to just listen to the preacher than read the scripture. I thought that's what it sounded like you were saying.
No, see, that's why I say you got to listen. You got to listen very well to an old man.
Any pastor that says don't read the word, just listen to me.
Yeah.
This whole congregation should walk out right then and there.
Point blank, and that's what I was saying. If you are saying something and people are following what you're saying versus what actually is happening, then they are not picking up the book and reading for themselves. They are going by your whatever you are saying, and you're speaking to it at that point. They're not thinking, they're not freely thinking for themselves. And what I'm saying is, Will Smith was on spot. All right? This guy had time to think about what he was going to say, how he was going to say, how he was going to put his words. And so we can't speculate exactly what is the true feeling of what was going on, because I can't believe that him and his girl was together and he know his girl was not going to be sitting in the VIP section. You don't just get to hop into the VIP section. It's not like a strip club. It's planned. Even for security, for security, it's planned. Like Janet Jackson when she did the thing with the guy on the cross. Y'all thought she just picked somebody around out of the crowd. No, that was planned.
Okay. It was planned.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is his reaction afterwards, it may go along with speaking to us, but
you don't think that she could plan? You don't think that she could plan something like that without him exactly knowing the full intricate details of it?
Most certainly.
Okay,
most certainly.
So, yeah.
But see, he moved
either way it go, that's still
look,
arguing past the main point.
Okay.
That
my last wrap up.
Like some people, hold your thought on that last wrap up. Some people, seem to not understand the purpose of, like, you use the celebrity situations as a backdrop to talk about
I'm entertaining.
The person who tries to nitpick all the ins and outs, odds and ends and details and intricacies of celebrity life, they're missing it's missing the larger point. The larger point is quite often the conversation that's being had in the reaction to it all, more so than just celebrity. There's room for Hollyweird to be Hollyweird. Like, for example, Adam 22 and his girl, they try to get into some Hollyweird stuff where he gonna be watching big black men, rearrange his life inside.
He got what he deserved. He married a hoe.
Yeah. So
he got what he deserved. It wasn't no secret.
Hold on. And there's a Hollyweird element to it where we're gonna clown him because we just saw him go through the 7 stages of grief about it, and now he's fully accepted everything, and he like it. So he got clowned. But at the end of the day, if that's just gonna turn into their thing, then it just is what it is. People.
It was their thing before he got started. That's what y'all ain't not even looking at the picture. They was whoring before they got started with this. She was a hoe from the beginning. He met her on hoism.
I clowned that part at the beginning too. Him and his homeboys when they first met her. When they first met her, they ran a train on her. So yeah.
And that's why I'm saying taking examples from people and a woman who's a whore in the first place is not a good example, because
a good example of what?
A good example of any lifestyle. A whore is a whore.
Okay.
Well, there are still real people who get involved in the lifestyle.
I understand, but
they don't. And orgies.
They don't.
Like,
you
in Hollywood,
yeah, you're right.
It's like you're refuting an argument. It's like you're refuting an argument that I never made.
No, I'm not refuting the argument. I'm just looking at your whole argument, and I'm taking it for what its value is, and I'm breaking it down under the microscope. And it could be a little uncomfortable that I come a little different due to the fact I'm not a sidewinder who haven't worked in Hollywood. I'm a person who have worked in Hollywood, so my views might be different from the common person, and I'm bringing that to the story.
The title of the show it's on the screen right now. How women train men to be cucks. the reaction
But what
to
JSP
all of this stuff, the reaction to a lot of this stuff is that men should be okay with their woman, either engaging in behaviors to where it looked like they're going to be, or down with, like with Keke Palmer. I mean, hell, if Usher told her to come on afterwards, and she would have came on with it. That's how she was acting. Is in the whole comment section in the chat room, like she didn't do nothing wrong, and her husband is being like I think he had to close down a few social media accounts. Somebody said, because people coming at him because how dare he try to correct his woman. So that's more of the general point here, and how society, and particularly the modern woman, is trying to coast modern men into being cucks. And then I gave an example of what it actually looks like in real time when a guy just accepts his cuckoldry. Like, that's really the show. Now, you can take a different angle on it and say, yeah, Hollywood is weird and they do shit like that, and you marry a hoe and that's what you get. I get all of that. That don't negate none of my main central points. It's doing something that, I mean, I hate when people come armed to the teeth to refute an argument that really is not an argument that I'm making. You're making
what J Speed is missing.
Real quick. To make the point that she was a hoe and he married a hoe, that's adding an additional true statement to what I said, but doesn't negate or refute any of the points that I made here. If you understand what I'm saying, it's just another
and J Speed, what you?
I got you, Bernard. But what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm trying to tell your people who are in the chat and people who might be listening to this in the future. Y'all don't understand. I don't forget more shit than most of y'all will ever know. I don't see this shit over and over. Wait. I don't see this shit over and over and over and over. Y'all are having conversation that I lived through 20 and 30 years ago. So
I agree. I agree. We forgot more than what you've ever known. But what you're not adding into that is that you've forgotten everything, but you've added no new fresh information in there.
But
everything
I'm
you ever
sorry,
knew,
I would have
to. And he has the facts of the story wrong. He has the facts of the story wrong. JSP, one moment.
Pablo,
you forgot that.
You got the facts wrong, JSP.
Pablo, you one thing you do forget, that I have children from 47 to 23 years old. So I am still learning. Don't you see my goddamn name here, son? I am still learning, okay? But what I'm trying to do when I see y'all regurgitating things that I don't see 30 years ago, and these conversations been had, I see where they go left and I see where they go right.
Okay, Jay Sporting fact
go ahead.
of the
real quick, Peebo Bryson.
Peebo Bryson.
I'm just trying to see who in that picture was. Just trying to see who in that picture with your player. That's all.
It's a lady friend. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's what's
what J Speed is missing is one important fact of the Adam 22 story and video. The important fact is, J Speed, he part of the interview. After we got in a relationship, I didn't want her to sleeping with other men again. He said that.
Wait a minute.
And turned around and allowed it.
Wait a minute. Have we always say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, bro?
Agree, J Speed.
Oh, wait. Let me finish. Let me go in on this then. Then you already know this man met this woman in a threesome. And he had things done that they probably haven't mentioned to the day. And so it's not out of his side, her character or his character. What is being displayed here? They're selling you something, and I believe, and this is my belief, that they're trolling us, like somebody said earlier. They're selling us something that we go discuss. It has nothing to do with their end game. Their end game is to make money.
They already making $2 million.
And they're gonna make $2 more million. They're gonna make $2 more. It just make it. Look, people who make money don't never get enough for money.
No, I can agree with you from the standpoint that once he's crossed over to saying that he liked it, now it's going to turn into their thing that they're to where it's going to be him, her, and Big Bruno, big Bruno black ass coming in there. Just he gonna have. I don't remember.
They're
the
gonna bring
names of the male
Mandingo. They're gonna bring
Yeah,
Mandingo on there.
okay, that is one. Okay, I be
BBC
forgetting the
Tyrone.
names. I be forgetting the
Mr.
names
Marcus.
of the male porn stars. But
You know.
I know I do remember Mandingo and Lexington Steel. Those are two names.
And
I still
see,
remember.
and this,
They all
this
gonna
is,
be. It's gonna be a parade of them Negroes coming through.
but nah.
And so that's gonna be their thing. That's and once and hold on, wait, chill.
Okay.
Once that becomes the case, then they just they doing their weird stuff. He damn near on the spectrum, but that's what they do. They weird. They getting their money. It is going to turn into that, but it didn't start out like that. But maybe that was their plan from the start. But who knows? That's all.
But Bernard, this just shows me, and this is why I do come on your show. When people in the chat room, I know some of it is just strictly entertainment. Every time I come up with a different point of view, I got to be drunk. A man who has never took a drink in his life or smoked marijuana in his life or ever took any kind of meds or medication. Just because I disagree with how something has been said, it don't mean that I disagree with the point that the person is trying to make. I'm just trying to complete the story. And so if it hurts your ears to hear me, you can always bounce me out with a bounty. You can always get rid of me. And it always goes.
Hurt.
Not yours, but I'm not speaking to you, sir.
You speaking to them.
Yeah, I'm speaking to the chat room. You can always bounce me off and get me off. And it always goes for a good, it goes for a good reason. You bounce me off. But no, it gets to make, he gets to make money from you bounce me off, and for me to come up and irritate the hell out of you. You can pay him good because I'm gonna irritate your ass. I'm not gonna come up here all the time and saying kumbaya. When you say some shit that I disagree, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna unload my fucking shotgun on you.
All right, shout out to MD Brooks. He says, shout out to Biara and Pablo.
P-Bo Bryson, not Pablo.
That's a good
Biara. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But you don't believe nothing I said?
No. I think we came to agree. Okay, this is where the conflict comes in with you. You will say things, all right?
Yes,
the
sir.
Things that you say may not be, outright false. Some of it may very well be true. But you come in it, you come the way that you come at it, it sounds like you're either trying to disagree or more specifically, probably more accurately, it sounds like you're trying to deflect, all right? It's one thing to just add additional information that, this is just my take on these people, but that's okay. And that's understandable, but it does reek of trying to deflect from the argument that was being made or trying to refute the argument with something that doesn't refute it, just adds other additional information to it. If you just come in with just other additional information, I hear what you're saying. I agree. Put it like this. This is how people do that when they're not trying to deflect. Yeah, I agree with you. I hear everything you're saying. I pretty much agree with what you're saying. This is how I just look at these weird people who do this weird shit, and it's just my opinion on it. When it's that, I get it. And you know what? Until you give you credit, I think you did say you agree with a lot of stuff that I said, but then you did try to say I was wrong on some. So you do try to use
some points.
Yeah. Okay. So at the end of the day,
examples.
You use it as a deflection. You try to use your.
Okay. Have anybody in the chat room or anybody on the panel? Have you ever took up defensive driving?
Yeah,
there is a course in what they call defensive driving.
Defensive driving, okay. No, I haven't took that course, but that's what you naturally should do anyway. You should always defensive drive. You'd always should assume that intersection that other person is not going to stop, even if you're the one that got the right of way. Assume that idiot not going to hit his brakes and pay attention.
Yeah, but that's part of it. There's a lot of part goes with it's pretty much it's watching out for others more than you watch out for yourself, because most likely they gonna make the mistake. And so when you go through military school or you're in military, this is one of the things you have to do to get military license. You have to take this course of defense, and I have used these techniques not only just with defensive driving, but there's a lawyer out of Florida named Gary who has never lost a case, and he wrote a book, How to Win an Argument. And one of the things he brings into that book of How to Win an Argument is you have to go into details, and you have to paint the picture of what it is versus what you want it to be. And once you do that, then you will have a more stronger argument and a better outcome if you can just take what the picture is, not what you want it to be, and argue against that versus trying to steer it into a certain way. That's how evidence is done through the courtroom.
Okay.
And that's what I use.
Really?
So if it seems like I'm trying to deflect something, no, I'm not.
Oh.
I try to get down to the point of what it really is. So I'm saying is using the example of a whore and a man who know he got a whore and a man who know he had somebody who loved what we call what did I call it? The community dick. And all of a sudden he's surprised. Well, I would call it BBD. But because the C word was made by white people, so you know what
that's
the
facts.
BBD word. Yeah.
That's facts.
So, okay. So I would call it BBD. So, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is these are bad examples.
Bad examples of what?
Of lifestyle. When you start off with garbage and you act as if
Could I respond to that, Bernard?
Okay, yeah, you can respond to it. Nobody said these were good examples of how people should live their lives.
No, we ain't not talking about how people should live their life. I'm
So
just
bad
saying,
examples of what?
Okay, well, if you let me, okay, I really want to tell you why it's a bad example.
So, Bernard, if I may, real quick,
Well, go ahead, Pablo.
The reason Bernard is using this particular situation. Yes, these people are sex workers, porn stars. They are extreme outliers, right? We all understand that. However, what it does is it does show what Bernard was trying to do by using them as an example is show that will in fact originally be against something, and then due to their thirst, their need for sex with a hot chick or whatever, reverse course and turn around and accept the very thing that they said they didn't want. And that is the ultimate why Bernard is using this particular situation as an example, not to say that porn stars and guys like Adam 22 are quote unquote the norm like the rest of us. That's not the point. The point is to illustrate that yes, this guy in fact once said no, I don't like it, and turned around and found excuses and ways and platitudes to turn around and then accept it. Am I correct, Bernard, in my assessment?
That was very, very accurate. Very accurate.
It was accurate, but it was goofy. That's like hiring an assassin and say you were surprised that he killed somebody. So this is what I'm saying is bad examples. Think about what I just said.
We agree the man was stupid, but the fact of the matter is if they went 6 years doing that without her having sex with another man on camera, then now all of a sudden that she is, then clearly
they got married.
They got married, and then now all of a sudden she wanted to have sex with.
But look at this, Bernard. You believe these people? Do you believe that these people, Bernard, camera or no camera, don't have that lifestyle in their private life?
That he sit in the corner and watch her get dug out by another dude?
No, not only sitting in the corner, he's probably holding a man's dick while he's going in over his wife.
I think they were swingers. No, they didn't say they were swingers. No, I honestly, OG, I think they might be trending in that. But so I'll give you that. I think they are trending in that direction at this point. Once he's turned on that once he saw it and watched it, he got turned on by it. Then yeah, I think they trended in that direction. But Hoop Jargon Media Network says salute to Passport Pablo, and Twan B says is J Speed. Oh, this is very healthy, clear-minded. Drink only water. OGJ Speed. This is it. This is he took all his meds. This is clear, even kiltered as it gets. So no, he's not drunk.
Thank you, Bernard, for saying that. But wait a minute. Is there any way you can call Edward out? Because I don't think we can end this show without.
No, I would like to take on it. Even though I don't even know if I fully liked his take when I heard it. Well, I almost I didn't like his take, but he was going a different angle. Like this dude is, far as the Keke Palmer's baby daddy, that he's stupid and blue pill and he don't get no red pill defense for his bullshit, and he pretty much go in that route with it. So he's on the what you signed up for, But I'm looking at it from a different angle of taking it a deeper route, so to speak. But so I don't know. I mean, it will be nice. I would like to hear him speak more so on the Adam 22 situation than the whole Keke Palmer situation. I would like to hear that.
Well, isn't it this part of this space being accountable for our choices and what we do?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's where I think that I love telling the whole story, because when the whole story is put out there,
the whole story. We talking about a whole story, all right?
Yeah. No, when the whole story.
Whole story. You telling the whole story.
Yeah, you're telling the whole story. Then it just shows you the people who are on that side of the street. There's nothing they won't do under the sun. I can see this shit 5 years from now, and we won't even be talking about another man. We'll be talking about a dog.
Oh shit! Yeah.
No. Listen what I just said.
No, I hear you.
I don't see this stuff so many times, and it revamps itself. It goes through this 10-year phase, and then it revamps itself every 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. When they start trying to normalize bringing dogs into it, then that's just.
Well, you got 5 states say you can have sex with the animals.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I heard about that
right now. You got 5 states right now that say it's okay.
Right now.
Yeah. Hallelujah. But anyway, we got 5 states that say that it's okay to abuse an animal sexually.
Any animal?
Any chicken, snake, gerbil, lamb, cow, horse, pony, snapping turtle. Hey, they got turtles too.
Porcupine. If you can.
If you can put some steel around and put a lubrication around, you can hit a porcupine. I don't know how many people have came out on the good side of that, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody who skunk, that too. You de-skunk them. A snake with no teeth. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just saying that what we said now is gonna be child's play of what y'all gonna be experiencing in the next 5 years.
Shit. Snake with no teeth. All right, we about to wrap this up. We didn't say it all we gonna say on this. All right, I will be back Saturday. I will try to get it started earlier. I do apologize for the late start. We will try to get it started earlier. I do appreciate everybody for coming on through and participating in this stream. And before we get out of here, every time y'all know the deal. Shout out to Machismo TV.
Welcome to Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming on through today. Thank you, everybody, for coming on through today. And I do got to do one more thing before we get out of here. Remiss to move that. We're gonna make sure. Okay, so yes, the link to Machismo TV in the chat room. Make sure y'all go and hit that. But we definitely got to roll this one more time on the way out the door. All right. We had to shout out to RM adding Adam 22 to the Simpsons over there. But that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.